Oh, and last night when I went to number five bar a little after 5 o'clock so I had about 2.5 hours of happy hour. No wonder I was a bit, yeah, I had a bit of a hangover today because that was a big start to the day. Um, and this guy from Melbourne, a truck driver, started talking to me, a guy named Michael. He's 66, so a little older than me. He's one of these guys who doesn't, when you have a conversation with him, he's an opinionated old guy with who doesn't necessarily listen to what you say and doesn't let you get your word or your thoughts out. I find that very frustrating. So yeah, he's been to Vietnam many times, and yeah, I was starting to get a bit. I found the conversation with him to be a bit tedious after a while, to be quite frank. So luckily, the guy on the other side, he started chatting to me, and he's actually a guy named Bill, and he lives here. He's an expat, and he'd seen me around before, and he told me actually. Gave me some information about what's happening, and he told me that apparently Vinyl Bar had actually closed down 3 months ago. Now, going on my calculations, that means that when they moved, which would have been just late July last year, so they only really were, they barely made 6 months before they packed it in. So yeah, it didn't last very long. It must have been really doing poorly, and I knew there was a risk when they moved. So, but it was good to get that information from Bill. He also told me about Ian. They only had a very bad motorcycle accident about 18 years ago and got a bit of brain damage. So that might sort of explain a few things. But when he was sober, he didn't sound too bad. But when he got pissed, oh boy, he was just totally incoherent. So he knew about all the people there. So all the expats. It's not a huge scene. It's the same faces you see at that place. But yeah, unfortunately, because of the demise of Vinyl Bar, that now number five bar is my only anchor bar, really, because those two were sort of stalwarts, and I generally would prefer to go to Vinyl. But actually, the girl, one of the Tiger beer girls, she's actually now working at who used to be at Vinyl. Actually, is now at number five bar. So that was a familiar face from the Vinyl days. It's the only one that came across. I don't think there's any staff from Vinyl that switched over to number five. It's a totally different scene, and I don't think they'd fit in, to be honest with you. It was much more laid back at Vinyl Bar. So yeah, that was good to get all that intel, and he was actually an interesting guy. But he got on really well with the boss lady. So although they were having a great time, he bought her a glass of red wine. So yeah, he's really palsy with it, and she was really relaxed last night, which is really unusual. So yeah, it was quite good actually. It's always good when you got some people talking, and there's a new girl there. She's a bit of a fish out of water. Some of these bar girls, when they're starting out, she's just finished her probation, and she knows a little bit of English. She wasn't too bad that way, and she's an attractive girl, but a little shy, I think. But that may change with time. It's not a place where you can really get away with being shy continually. You have to basically open up a bit. And so yeah, it was an okay night. I wish I'd just gone home after that. In retrospect, after happy hour had finished, I actually left just before the finish of happy hour, so I didn't even want to have another happy hour drink, and unfortunately went off to Retro, and which was going great guns up until the bill, which I'd been drinking a lot, so I'm not normally belligerent when I'm drunk. I didn't pay out or anything. I just said I was upset, and I said some stupid thing, so I'll put this on YouTube because they charged me for an extra lady drink. And I would have been happy to pay that girl for an extra lady drink if she just asked. That was the thing I objected to. She didn't actually ask for that second drink, and for me to pay for it. And I didn't even know she had a secondary. And of course, with my eyesight, I couldn't tell anyway. I wouldn't have noticed that sort of thing. So yeah, just it was just badly handled though, because I mean, I overreacted, and she should have actually made it clear that she wanted another ladies' drink. And as I say, I was having a good time with it. I would have actually been happy with it. So it's just a stupid stuff up, really. But yeah, I don't trust them there at that bar. They're a bit dodgy that way. I mean, it's only an extra ladies' drink. It's not a lot of money, but it's a principle. And maybe I'm a stick in the mud. A lot of guys wouldn't give a stuff, and maybe I probably am overreacting, to be honest. So I sort of regret that now. But you know, we've all had regrets when drinking. We've drunk too much. Yeah, so that's basically the reflections on a rather wild Monday night in Saigon for me. And tonight will be the total opposite. I'll just be staying in. I'm buggered, absolutely buggered. So big contrast, and I don't even have a computer to watch my TV shows, so I might actually have to use the see what's on the TV here. That'll be something different.
Feeling a lot better after an alcohol-free night, I'll tell you, really a lot better. And I also had a victory on the language front. I wanted to say good morning to the reception guy, and I said, ciao boy Sam, and he said it was excellent, I got it right. But I just can't say the word very. The way he described it is totally different to Google. It's like with a C, and it's a ka, and he sort of rounded his mouth. It's really complicated, and each person seems to have their own nuance when it comes to actually speaking Vietnamese. It just makes it even more difficult. So, but as I said, I'm not going to give up on it. I had a minor victory today, so. No problem. Gee, they actually apologised. A motorbike driver apologising for almost skittling me. That's a rarity. So here I'm going to go get my food. I wanted to go to the other one there, that woman selling other stuff. I don't know what she's selling, but I should get something else, just for variety. I'm heading back towards Ben Fung Market to get some food. I want to have that healthy spinach soup I didn't get yesterday. So, although I did have the Boi Coon, which is the Vietnamese spring rolls. They're pretty healthy themselves. So. Yeah, the other thing I found, there's also a pancake place that's just behind Ben Fung. I don't feel like that much food at the moment, so I don't want to overeat, but I wouldn't mind checking it out some stage. So see how we go. Nice day today, it's not too hot. Yeah, good weather. It's probably the nicest day I've had here. Not bad at all. From the pancake stall, it's just one of the stalls in the back of this particular complex here. So 1718 down on the far left there. They're not super cheap. There's about 6 different varieties of pancakes, and they're about 85,000. So yeah, not the cheapest meal in town, but I only paid 47 for my pork, and I got the bowl of soup. And I had the tea as well. So, and I find that incredibly tasty. The reason I always go there, I would have tried the pancakes today, but I've got to get my greens, and they have spinach soup, so it's very healthy. So I'm not going to compromise that. Well, it's Wednesday night, and I'm doing the walk of the drunk. Just did the happy hour at number 5 bar. I didn't even last the distance again. It's pretty full on. This is the place that used to be Vinyl Bar. It's called Home now. Well, what I can't go to tonight is Retro Bar, because I made an absolute ass of myself by carrying on about how they charge me for an extra lady drink. So I'm going to go to funnily enough, I'm going to go to the office, which is not a cheap place. They'll hit me for a lady drink, but at least they won't charge me the lady drinks that weren't ordered. So in a way, it might be a better deal there. There's a bit more transparency. That's my feeling about retro. I may be wrong there because I was fairly pissed. So it's, perceptions can change when you've had a bit of alcohol. So I don't want to actually overstate that. It's a beautiful night. That's been a vacant lot forever, that place. It's used for parking at the moment. And we have the office across the road there. As you can see, the neon light, if I've got the framing correct. And there's a bit of traffic. And I don't know if I'm doing the right thing or not, I'm not sure. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you think there's anything there of use to you or entertainment or whatever. And either do that or give me a thumbs up, or if you're feeling really energetic, do both. That'd be great. But please don't ignore me. That's the worst thing you can do on YouTube, is be ignored.